Hey everyone, it's Leslie Ann here, Resident Demon, and thank you all for joining me today with the fan questions ahead of tonight's episode, Mr. and Mrs. Mazikeen Smith. Thank you so much for you guys for sending in your questions. Actually, I've got a little basket here, so I'm going to get started, and I picked one. So this is from Mommy. I think I'm saying your name right. So excited to see you coming back tonight. Can't wait. My question is, do you find doing this role difficult? Maintaining the voice, the attitude, the look isn't difficult because you're killing it. Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you. No, I don't. I mean, this is, what I do for a living. And I think there's a lot of me that lives inside of Maze, to be honest, especially the sass. So I don't find it difficult at all. I for my accent, I do spend the whole day when I work in my American accent, so it's just easier to transition, from scene to scene. So yeah, so now I'm going to look at some questions as they're popping up. What's it like working with Tom Welling? I haven't actually had a scene with Tom Welling, but he is a lovely guy, and from what I hear, a lot of fun to work with. Let's see. Well, I might pick one here. What's your favorite Maze line? Ooh. I'm not sure. It might be actually from episode 4, with the girls' night out, where I say, no, what do I say? I don't even know what I say. I say, no one touches my skank. I think that's the line. That's pretty funny. No one calls my skank a skank. That's what it is. I have mama brain. Hi, Maze. Okay. What's my favorite Trixie scene? It might actually be this one coming up in this episode. It's pretty funny. And if you're a Kiwi, a New Zealander, I lived in New Zealand for 12 years, you might recognize something I kind of threw in there from the All Blacks. I ended up showing Trixie a video of the haka, which is like this warrior dance that the national New Zealand rugby team, they do before every match. So it might be the scene. Let's see. I'm just scrolling through. Love from Canada. You guys are all very sweet. Do you find yourself acting like during the day in life outside of Lucifer? Oh, I just had something in my teeth, you guys. I don't know. Maybe when my kid goes to school and kids are mean to him, I might whip out a little Mama Maze for sure. How hard are the stunts? The stunts aren't hard. I'm very lucky in that sort of stuff comes somewhat naturally to me. I was fortunate for the first 2 seasons. We had an amazing stunt department, and they were just so kind and generous in that they allowed me to do as much as I wanted to do. So it's not really that hard. I tend to pick that stuff up pretty quickly. I'm actually just at the moment getting ready to, I had a baby 3 months ago, so the first few episodes I'm not really being too physical, but I'm prepping for a fight that comes further down. I can't really tell you too much more. Do I enjoy the wardrobe in the series? Yes, it's fun. I think I'm the one character that gets to kind of play around with her look, and everything from her look, her makeup, her hair, the wardrobe. I think a lot of that stuff kind of all helps build, the character. And we try to have the wardrobe reflect whatever's happening with her, in the show. So in the first season, there was a lot of stuff that kind of looked, corsets and stuff that was not typical for Los Angeles. And as Maisie stayed, she's gotten a little, she's a fashionable gal. She's trying different looks. So yeah, I do like my wardrobe. Thank you. It's my motivation for getting back in shape, to be honest. Okay, I'm gonna pull another one out of the basket here. Let's see. Sorry, I pulled out the same. What character from Lucifer is your favorite, if you have one? Oof, guys, that's tough. Do you know who I'm loving, actually? I just this season, who's getting a lot more time on screen is Ella. I love, seeing her personality and a little tidbit. They do go into a lot more of Ella's like backstory, and you might meet I team up with Ella in episode 10, which will be fun to see these two very different characters. So yeah, I'd probably say Ella. She's a fun character, but smart. Let's see. Sorry, you guys, the questions are coming in fast and furious. Hello from Texas. What is the hardest stunt you have done that scared you a little? None of them have scared me a little. I've always felt really safe. But the church fight where I fight Uriel. At the end of the fight, when I crash down, I jump up on him, and that is me like climbing the stunt double. He drops me down on a pad, and I did really take that hit, and it hurt. My niece was on set at the time visiting from New Zealand, and she was a bit worried that they were hurting me, but that was probably, you get bumps and bruises. It's part of the job, right? Let's see. Do you think Amenadiel and Maze will get back together? Oh, I think these two are going to go through quite a journey this season. They're definitely, their relationship is touched upon again, but it's not your typical kind of coming together, and that's about as much as I can say. Can you relate your life's experience with the role on the show? My life's experience? Yes, sure. Especially in the first season, when I was, people always say, like, what's it like playing a demon? And I never really think about what's it like playing a demon because I don't really know demons. But I remembered how hard it was for me when I first moved from South Africa to New Zealand, and how out of place I felt, and like no one understood my accent, and it was just such a different culture for me. And I drew a lot on that experience when I tackled what Maze might feel like when she, now that she, when she was stuck on Earth and all she did was want to get home, and she felt out of place. And so, yeah, I did in that instance for sure draw on my life experience. What's my favorite program to watch? I'm rewatching Malcolm in the Middle. Lucifer on Fox is my favorite. How long did it take for the makeup on your demon face to apply? Spoiler alert, that's all CGI. We did do some tests in the first season, but our CGI department, our special effects department, handles all of that. So I just get to show up and act as normal, and then they do that in post-production. Okay, I'm going to go to the basket again and get another question here. What is the most emotional scene you've done and the most funny? Valentina. The most emotional scene for me was definitely the Maze and Linda stuff that we did, where I go and I talk to her about just being a demon and her being her and what's changed, why can't we be friends. I've said this before publicly, but what was really wonderful about that is I had a lot of people from the LGBTQ community come out and sort of say, when you come out as part of this community, we've all had that discussion with someone, a friend, a family member, a stranger. So I was really proud that we got that our work was, received in that way. The funniest scene, oh, whoops, what would that be? Oh, probably watching Lauren have sexual dreams about Lucifer while Maze watched and ate popcorn. There's a lot of stuff that happened that didn't make the edit. Does Maze come back after this episode? I'm out of episode 4, and then I come back, and then I'm out. I'm not in episode 4. I'm not in episode 5. And then I'm back in episode 6. So as you all know or may not know, I was pregnant for most of the half of the second season, and I had my son July 18th, which is around the time that they started filming this season. So of course I needed time just to be with my family and recover, and so I'm not in those episodes, but I come back in episode 6 and it's a goodie. Let's see. How come the devil is English and his demon friend sounds American? Colin, that is a good question. I don't know. I always thought that she would have a British accent when I originally auditioned for the role, but it was American is what they wanted, so that's what we went with. Let's see what. You had any moment? Benjamin, have you had any moments where you've truly felt attracted to Tom? I'm happily married. Tom is a very handsome man who is about to get married. He's very happily engaged. So, no, he's more like a brother to me. All right, I'm going to pull some more out. I answered that one. Oh, answered that one too. Sorry, you guys. Just trying to. Oh, so now that it's from Max. Now that Lucifer has his wings back, will we get to see some new powers from him? I don't know. That's a good question. Probably not the person to ask though, because I don't make the decisions as far as that's concerned. But I will say there's a shift in his powers. Yeah. Well, you guys know that because you know he's lost his devil face. That's right. So what am I talking about? Why is Linda able to be around Lucifer's wings in the previous season when Lucifer's wings were stolen? They would massively affect humans because they are part of divinity. I don't know if they necessarily affect humans. Amenadiels didn't. It's just part of their celestial being. Yeah, so I don't think it affects Linda in any kind of supernatural way. Do you play pranks on each other on set? Yes, a lot. We are a big pranking set. I recently pranked our showrunners, Ildy and Joe. So, when you're on a show, you can't just go and like change the way you look, because you're established a character. So I got the hair girls to put on a very realistic, like short mom, like haircut wig. And we sent it to one of the showrunners, Ildy, and just said, from the hair girls, our hair designer's phone, and just said, hey, I don't want to bother you, but Leslie Ann just turned up with her hair like this. We can totally fix it with a wig, but just wanted to let you know. And there was silence. And then I texted them both and put the same picture, and I just said thoughts, and there was silence. And I think they really thought that I cut my hair and were scrambling to figure out what to do. But yeah, we play a lot of pranks. What trait am I most like? Or what trait do I have that's most like Maze? I'd probably say my loyalty to my friends and my family, and my protectiveness of them. Yeah, it's in that way, Maze and I are very similar. Do we get to meet any of Lucifer's other relatives? Ooh, I don't know, maybe. Will you be taking over Hell? I know. Cal, that's a good question, huh? In the comic books, Mazikeen is actually the ruler of Hell at the moment. So, I don't know. I think the show needs Maze to be on Earth for a little bit longer. Let's see. Did the idea of writing your pregnancy ever come up? Writing in my pregnancy? No. When I found out I was pregnant, I just thought it would take, first of all, we're loosely based on a comic book, so there is source material to pull from, and Mazikeen in the comic books is not pregnant in any way. She's not maternal in any way. And I really just wanted to honor the character we had created the first, season and a half. So for me, it was important that that May stayed, who she was, and continued on the journey that the writers had created, and we worked really hard to sort of, you really can't tell that I'm not carrying boxes or anything, but we did shoot in Canada. So this episode, May's bounty hunts in Canada, and you get to wear jackets, that covers little bumps here and there. Was it hard doing stunts when you were pregnant? Sure. Any woman who's been 6 months pregnant will tell you it's hard just getting out of bed at that point. I was very fortunate. I do most of my stunts in the show when I'm not pregnant. But obviously at that point, safety first, and we wanted to keep Kingston safe. So Janine, my stunt double, did the harder like rolls and falls and that kind of stuff, and then you go in and you shoot inserts, which is still very exhausting when you're that pregnant. But yeah, it was just tiring. I was getting sort of towards the end of that working season, and looking forward to just having a little break. Let's see. So this is a question that a lot of fans have asked. They're like, are demons vulnerable to human weapons? Do they have similar powers like Lucifer? I don't have powers per se. Like I have powers in the fact that I have like I'm super strong and I move very quickly and I'm a really great fighter, but I don't have a soul. So when I die, I just die. I don't go to like hell or heaven or so a lot of fans were like, well, why is she dodging bullets? And well, that's why, because they can actually, at least in our show, hurt her. Let me pull another one out of the basket here and see what we got. Valentina, who has the best abs in the cast? I would say Lauren German. On any day, you could see her in her trailer, like working out. She's always on protein shakes. She does at least 250 crunches in lunch every day. No, Lauren hates working out. She rides her bike, and she still looks great. But who has the best abs in the cast? I don't know. I will, ladies, let me let you in a little secret here. Tom Ellis has been working his ass off this season. You may get to see him in Next to Nothing, and he is looking really good. Kevin and I have the same trainer, and then Tom just started training with him as well. So Paolo is kicking the entire Lucifer cast into shape. How many seasons will there be? I don't know. I'm at the Fox Studios. Maybe I should just go ask them, right? Let's see. I don't have a British accent. Sanchez. This is a combination of a South African and a Kiwi accent. Very different to Tom. Don't get us confused. Let's see. Will Lucifer tie into the DC TV universe? We see Supergirl, billboards. I don't think so. I think our show, they did think about that, I think, in the first season. There was an idea of maybe having like a Wayne Enterprises truck go by like in the background. I think our show, like Vertigo, oh yes, we're part of DC, but we're under the Vertigo, umbrella. And I think our show kind of exists in its own. Like, we're not a typical supernatural show, whereas Supergirl and The Flash and Arrow, they are they're superhero shows. And we, Vertigo, I always thought, at least when I read the Lucifer comics, was just not a more adult, but it seemed a more mature material. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like our show, because we are serialized, but then we do have a case of the week. I think we kind of like exist in our own world. The tone of our show is also very different to those other shows, and it's very specific. So yeah, I'm not sure that would happen. Let's see. I'm scrolling through some more here. The show. You guys are funny. Good scenes. Sorry, I'm just trying. Lots of compliments. I'm just scrolling by to get to a question. What did you like about Maze's character development from season 1 to 3? Amanda, I just love. I think there have been a lot of like tough, badass, girl, female characters in TV. And I think it's very easy to look at a character like Mazikeen and be one note, just be tough all the time, or just be kick-ass, or play too much into the supernatural and not enough into the humanity. And I think our writers have found that really great balance of having her explore humanity in her own way. So what I love is that you take this character who's a complete fish out of water in the first season and kind of getting to the end of like, okay, great, we've been here for 5 years, I'm ready to go home, to the end, and you'll see even in this particular episode, realizing that the family she's created, that no, Maze is not ever going to be a mother. She doesn't really care for children on any day, but Trixie is very important to her and she cares about her. So is the detective. So is Linda. Even Dan. They have this banter, which you will see in this episode as well. So I really love that about her development, that she's gone through completely rejecting Earth to figuring out how Earth could be home, to then figuring out how to make the people around her feel like family. Because Lucifer is obviously off with Chloe or doing cases, and that was her one sole, friend when she first arrived. Are you excited for tonight's episode? I am very excited for tonight's episode. Our crew and the cast, especially our crew this episode, they worked so hard. And obviously it's very special to me because I had my little boy in my tummy, and so really when we fight me, it's like 2 against 1, right? I was actually really scared that he would come out like really angry when he was born, because my scenes are pretty intense and lots of harsh words and yelling and definitely stuns. But he is a sweet boy. He's normal. Let's see. Are Lucifer and Maze going to see eye to eye? I think they found a new understanding, after that fight they had, and then him sort of going to Linda and her basically telling him, well, this is why she's pissed off and why she's upset with you. I think they definitely do get to the relationship improves a lot more. Yes, for sure. Hi from Rio de Janeiro. Wow. So awesome. You guys are all over the world. Let's see. I'm so anxious about the new season. Will our show get canceled? No. If you keep watching, keep watching, keep telling your friends to watch, set your DVR. We have a 3rd season because you guys have stuck with us. So just continue to do that. And I'm sure we will have another season after this. It seems music is about more humanity. Shouldn't be if you found the endgame, you could ultimately complete redemption. Oh, Frank, you're going in deep, buddy. It seems that Maze's character is developing more and more humanity. What would your reaction be if you found the endgame for the character was ultimately complete redemption? Perhaps elevation to divinity status? I don't know that that's possible. She is the daughter of Lilith, so she's born a demon. It's not like she, was a good person and turned bad. I think she's all she is who she is. It's one of the things I love about her, actually. She doesn't apologize for being a demon, and for enjoying pain and lust and, all the other things she loves. So I'm not sure. Let's see. Kingston will have one hell of an upbringing on your show set. You seem to be a very straightforward person. Yeah, Kingston loves coming to set. Can Maze grant favors? No. No, that's Lucifer's thing. No way. Hi from Australia. Wow. Who is the funniest person in the cast? It's a very common question. Lauren, for sure. Yeah, she's got a really wicked, dirty, amazing sense of humor. Yeah, I love that about her. Who is Maze's father? Maze's father is a serpent demon called, I think it's Odian or something with an O. But yes, so her mother is Lilith and her father is a serpent demon. Talk about family issues, right? Was I on Gotham once upon a time? I was on Gotham. I played Copperhead, the female version of Copperhead. So I did one episode, which was fun. I love those guys. They're a great cast. Okay, let me scroll down a little bit. How much research did you do before taking on the role of Maze? Alyssa, I did read, not all, but some of the comic books to get an idea of the world and the character. And I definitely tried to pull a lot, even in terms of like the costume. I tried to pull, ideas from there to have little, have a feel of the comic book Maze as much as we can. Obviously, this is our version of the character, and she is different. But the essence of her, I think we've retained. Yeah. Do I speak any other languages? I do. I speak Afrikaans, which is similar to Dutch. Is Maze frightened of the Cinnamon? No. Nothing really scares her. Oh, Kendra, thanks for asking that. Mexican's father is the serpent demon Ophir. Yes, you're right. Good one. Who would win a no holds barred battle between Maze and Constantine? I'm partial to Maze, so I'd say her. Do you hang out with the cast offset? Yes, we do. We're a real family, which is awesome. So we do a lot. I actually knew DB, for example, before we did Lucifer. So we definitely enjoy. It's nice, we did it a lot in Vancouver because you're not in your home city, and it gets a little trickier when you're back in Los Angeles because you are at home and life. But what I love about our cast is we love our job so much that you don't mind seeing these people on the weekends too. Can Maze drive a car as good as Lucifer? Yes. She sure can. Will the show ever travel away from LA? Yes, we traveled to Canada in tonight's episode, which is fun. Alright, I'm gonna go back to the basket, you guys. Let me see what you sent in. What's it like working beside Tom Ellis? Do you guys have any quirky things you guys do in between shots? Thank you, Kristen. Tom's amazing. You know, it's a very hard job to be a lead of a big show, you know, a network show, and he does it with such humility and grace, and he's so kind, which sets the tone for our set. So yes, he's definitely, I mean, I remember when I was pregnant and even going back to work, you know, because I'm breastfeeding, he's always just so, he's a father himself, so he's so caring and attentive, and no, he's good people. I love working with Tom. Let's see. Trying to think here. Oh, Lucy, I'm so tired of forcing myself to stay awake because I've been looking forward to seeing this live since it was announced. Thank you so much for staying awake. What building is Lux filmed in? Lux isn't filmed in a building, it's a stage. Isn't that cool? So our very talented crew built, you know, in the pilot it was an actual bar that we shot in. And then both our Vancouver and now our LA crew recreated the bar down to the T, which is pretty incredible. They're very talented. Will we see more of Maze and Trixie? Absolutely. You'll see a lovely scene tonight. As I said before, lots of fun working with Scarlett. Do actors have any input with the writers? Sure. Yeah, it's a very collaborative process. So a lot of ideas, I mean, some of the lines even like will come from us. You know, we look after one character, each actor. And so we know them and we know them intimately, but the writers are the keepers of like several characters. So it's nice when you can get specificity and, you know, when an actor has ideas, and we're just fortunate that we work with a writing room that is open to that, you know, because I think that's when some of the best work comes out is when it's a collaboration between the two. Let's see. All right, one more in the basket. Ah, this is a good question. You know, the cool thing about a show like ours is that we take a lot, like the writers will draw from what's happening, like what do I love about our show? The writers are drawing about what's happening like present day too. So there'll be jokes or like when we shoot in LA, there are often people who are on Hollywood Boulevard, like the cosplayers, the Spider-Man, and so, or you'll see billboards like for Supergirl, etc. So what's cool is that now that we're in LA, we get to bring in what's happening in LA, the actual city, into the show as well, which is a little harder when you're in Vancouver because the weather's a lot different. And in Los Angeles, what is it, 90 degrees today? And we're in October. So we get to just have more of a quintessential Los Angeles feel, which I love. Are there any surprise guests stars this season? I don't know. I'll find out and I'll get back to you guys. Am I going to watch the show tonight? I'm going to try very hard to get back. I am at the Fox Studios. I have to race back to go home and have bath time and play time with Kingston. So I will be watching it, probably delayed. But I will try to tweet with you guys. It's a little harder when you have a baby. Let's see. Oh, what's the time? Wait, the show is starting soon, isn't it? In like 5 minutes? Oh my god, guys. Well, I should get you guys some time to go get a whiskey and a vodka and perch up on the couch. But thank you so much for joining me, and I loved all your questions. And I promise to do more of these as the season goes on, and I hope you enjoy this episode. It's very special to me, and thank you again for supporting us, and enjoy the show.